stand for pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Eric, would you have a prayer for us? Good evening, everyone. Merry Christmas. Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6 says, "For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder. And his name will be called Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, and the Prince of Peace. And of the increase of his government and peace there will be no end." So loving and gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for your infinite source of peace, love, and wisdom. Thank you for blessing us with this wonderful gift we call life. In spite of the various challenges that we are facing in our society today, we cling to your words that say, "I will never leave you or forsake you." As we begin this meeting, I pray for your spiritual guidance and direction for this council. Help them to lead and govern with integrity and strength to do what is right for the benefit of everyone. Teach us always to perform our job faithfully and diligently, so that we will always be a blessing and a source of inspiration to the people who need our services. I ask you, Father, to bless these present tonight as they work together for the common cause. Give us always the strength to do, patience to bear, and let our courage never fail. All of these things we ask and pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Eric.
We need approval of the previous minutes. Do you have a copy of them?
It would have been emailed to everybody prior to
Okay.
me.
Have you had an opportunity to go over the previous minutes? Can I have to accept them?
Motion to accept this for
Have a second?
Second.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. We have a pen here. That's my office.
And I said aye, I don't know if you heard me.
Hey,
Oh, thank you.
Okay, do we have any mail to be considered? Do we have any committee reports?
Yes, we have the wage committee. We met and the 911 raises. The city of Connersville gave $12,000 when the Fayette County Commissioners signed their new contract, and the money from the city was stipulated to be used for 911 raises. And what that will be $1,144 per year for full-time employees and 45 cents per hour for part-time employees.
Okay.
And then our recommendations by the wage committee are that the county nurse salary is increased to, by $10,000 per year, and that Matt receives a $5,000 stipend, which would average out to be $192 per check for his 26 weeks of pay.
well, right now she's making her recommendations, and then yes, you'd have to make a motion to accept.
Okay, and then we talked about bonuses for the employees in the year, and the bonuses, and that would be in lieu of persons getting pay raises, and it would be $1,000 per full-time employee that was hired before January 1 of '23, and $500 for part-time employees hired before January 1 of 2023. And this would not be for non-grant employees if your salary is paid through a grant.
Okay. So we want to take those one each individually or all three at one time?
Oh, individually.
Individually, okay. What's your first one you want to make a motion on, Sharon?
The recommendations would be the county nurse's salary that would increase by $10,000 per year.
Okay. Now, is that coming out of county general?
Yes. Where would that come, Jane?
The Fund 1159, the Health Department's fund.
Health department's fund, so that's not affecting. Okay. Okay.
Okay. I want to verify the wording on that because you got 10,000 per year. So the way I understand it, every year it's another $10,000.
No, it would just be a one-time, no.
I want to make sure the wording's correct so that we
Yeah.
don't.
Right, that was not per, I apologize for that.
That's just a one-time,
Per nurse, yeah,
For the-
for the nurse, yeah,
is that the coming budget year,
yes,
2024?
yes. Apologize for that.
Okay, then. You want to make a motion to that effect, Sharon?
Yes.
Okay, you
I
have a
make
second?
motion.
Second it.
Okay. Have a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Okay.
Aye.
Now, what's your...
Yes.
Okay, Sharon, what's your second one?
The second one is that Matt would receive a $5,000 stipend, and that averages out to $192.30 per his check for 26 weeks, and that is that would be a yearly stipend. Am I correct, Jane?
Yes.
Yes. So that would be per.
The reason we did it as a stipend is because if you get somebody that's not as qualified or doing quite as much as Matt's doing, then that stipend doesn't necessarily have to be applied to that person.
Right.
It's not automatic. If they're not doing the same duties that Matt is currently doing, Matt's wearing a lot of hats, so.
I would make a motion to approve this.
Okay. Do you have a second on it?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Okay. Okay, Sharon?
Aye, Jane.
The third one?
Okay, and the third one is bonuses. And like I said, that the first one in the bonuses would be $1,000 for full-time employees hired before January 1 of '23.
And that's being moved within the budget, right?
Yes, that would be funded from existing budgets.
Okay. Just moving the funds, okay.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
Those bonuses, office holders, councilmen, and commissioners does not get that. Is that correct?
I believe that's
Right.
correct.
That is correct.
Right, right. This is for the, yeah.
Just for-
And just to be 100% clear, this is in lieu of those that did not get a pay raise. This is who this is for. This is not for, if you got a pay raise, that's ongoing throughout the year for you that both are getting raises in this particular departments for different reasons, whether it's grant money or something. Just so people don't think, well, I got a pay raise, but I didn't get a bonus. Well, the people that get bonuses is a one-time payout for them versus an ongoing pay raise for them. So it's the best we could do in a year that we're low on funds, and we want to recognize our employees and show a little appreciation for them. It doesn't go far. Like I said, over the years, basically it boils down to about a gallon of milk by the time you're done for each week. But it sounds like a lot, but in actuality it's not. But we appreciate our employees, and we wanted to show some gratitude for the work and effort that they put in.
And it's already covered by what they're doing here.
Well, yeah, but honestly, I would feel better making sure that the reductions pass before we do the bonuses. The reduction for that's on down here in our, because the reductions would take care of the bonuses. I mean, I really think we ought to do the reductions first before we do
Well, if I'm correct, Jane's already gone through and looked at all this stuff and made sure that this would.
I understand that, but if these reductions don't pass, then that changes the
Okay, I see what you're saying.
the scope of
Gotcha.
where the money's coming
We'll kick
from.
them off council if it doesn't pass.
So,
I'd agree with you.
then we'll put this on hold till after we do our meeting. Okay,
And we brought up no office holders also. Like
Right.
that-
yes,
oh,
Right.
right, right,
Yeah, no elected officials were
Right.
included.
no,
Okay,
okay.
so James, do you want to explain what you're doing here to do what you're doing?
Okay, well, if you look at the additionals and the transfers, there's two reduction in appropriations. It's 23,000 of it from the auditor's office and 25,000 from circuit court. Those two reductions offset the 48,000 additional appropriation that you're going to see right below them. So assuming you approve both of those reductions, then you can approve that additional, and that's going to be a wash. The rest of these transfers are where we found money in existing departments, existing budgets that they weren't going to spend between now and December 31st. So we were able to move some funds around. Like, you have to approve them because some of them are like from an equipment fund, so a 4,000 fund into a 1,000 fund. But it's basically any of them that say employee bonus, it's moving money.
You've already moved the fund back to general fund. to
But
pay
you never
for
filled your
bonuses.
second deputy position, correct?
Yes, that's why I have that.
And that's
I've had an available position.
Pauper attorney contracts,
All year.
there's leftover money there.
Yeah.
So
So
that's
we,
going in there, so that's covered, Scott.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but technically, we need to pass the reductions first. I mean, as far as I'm concerned.
well, Scott, do you want to make a motion?
I
on
will.
that?
Let's make a motion. I'd like to make the motion that we pass the reduction in appropriation, County General Fund 1,000, auditor, account 10120, second deputy 23,000. We also pass reduction in appropriation, County General Fund 1,000, circuit court, account 30490, pauper attorney contracts 25,000. We also pass additional appropriation to County General Fund 1,000, council account 10218, employee bonuses 48,000.
Second.
Have a second?
I'll second it.
Have a second to it?
Yeah, we got it.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Now we go back to Sharon's, okay?
Okay. So, the bonuses in lieu of a pay raise to full-time employees hired before January 1 of 2023. This excludes all elected officials and any office holder. This is only for the employees, full-time. And then $500 per part-time employee hired before January 1 of 2023.
Okay.
And I would make a motion that we pass.
Have a second?
Okay. All in favor, or you should say that.
I missed the second.
We have a second
Who
on that?
seconded?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I would say aye, Jane.
Okay.
Now, I didn't mean to miss him, but has our county attorney got anything going on tonight?
Not tonight.
I thought this might be the one time I missed you that you've got about 10 different items to talk about, but
Not tonight.
not tonight.
You got enough on the agenda.
Okay, but thank you, okay. Okay. Go up here to the additional appropriation request to County General Fund 1,000 Recorder Office 30820 bank fees, $46.50. And just for bank fees, is that in their budget? Or the additional appropriations?
That was an additional.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Aye, Jane.
Additional appropriation request to County General Fund 1,000 Sheriff's Account 202.0 for gas and oil, $5,600.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay. Motion second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Aye, Jane.
Additional appropriation to pretrial diversion fund, 490 for prosecutor, $4,080. Extradition.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. Nobody
Aye,
opposed?
Jane.
Okay. We've already got the next three done. If I missed something, let me know.
You
Yeah.
got the tires. Oh, no, they got scratched. Never mind.
Yeah, that was when they scratched.
Sorry.
Okay. Transfer in county general fund 1,000 soil and water from account 30110 postage to account 2092 other supplies, $264.89.
If you want to
Take
do
the
those
next
next
one,
three
too.
together, yeah, they're all from soil and water to
Okay.
different accounts.
Motion to approve both.
All three?
Yep, the 264.89 and the $14.
Okay. Have a second?
I'll second it, Jane.
And all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We might get out of here tonight. Yeah.
Actually, they've done three
Here's another one.
Here's another one.
Is that the 240?
Yep. I'll motion to approve that one.
Okay. Second?
Second, yes.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
Put the next to the other two.
Okay, the animal shelter truck repair, account 20210, gas, diesel, and oil, $700.
Mike said you could put both of those. The next one's for animal shelter also, the 2,000.
Okay,
Motion to
transfer in
approve
county
both.
general animal shelter account, dog and cat food, cleaning supplies, other services, $2,000. So we're asking for $2,700 altogether, right?
Motion to approve both.
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Okay.
Aye.
We haven't heard from the commissioners tonight. You got anything for us, Dale? I'm not gonna get out of here without listening to you for a minute.
I'll be very brief, Bob.
Okay.
You've got some important people here to talk to you tonight. But very briefly, we didn't get a whole lot done today, but we did agree to close the courthouse on December the 20th from noon until 2 p.m. for a courthouse Christmas dinner, and you're all invited. How's that?
That's good.
Okay. You take the time out to come in and celebrate Christmas with us.
Okay.
We did, commissioners did decide today to name the community crossings matching grant projects for 2024. And they will be Everton Road from Everton to west to County Road 50 west, just east of Knolltown. If you drove Everton Road recently, it's just about ready to come apart. And we've got to get something done with that one. And also County Road 450 west from 200 north to 1,000 north. So we will be getting estimates on what those will cost and try to fit as many of those miles into the perceived or the expected $1 million grant award next year and see how far that goes. Also, we heard from Wade Walling today about the upcoming weather station. I don't know if Wade's going to talk to you about that or not, but it's a very worthy project. We agreed to buy some new surveillance cameras and 8 new computers. And we did get an update today from Gertrude Whitaker about the status of the Indiana broadband projects that affect Fayette County.
And that was a mixture of good news and bad, but we're at their mercy. We'll play the game and get whatever we can in respect to rural broadband in the county. Other than that, I can't think of anything worth mentioning. You have anything, Dale?
Nope.
Okay.
I know Mackie said, they've had to put off some projects on bridges. How are we doing on that? Heard any more on it, or?
Well, as far as I know, those projects, the bridge projects that Bill Mackey is working on right now are going as fast as they usually do. And we did approve today some engineering services agreements between Butler, Fairmont, and Seaford and SJCA in relation to his projects. But these things, like always, take a lot of time. They're still in progress.
So how's our jail doing?
The jail,
I shouldn't have asked that question.
well, are you talking about the county jail, or are you talking about the jail
Facility,
annex?
yeah. The new facility we're.
Oh, work is progressing. I'm over there at least a couple of times a week. It's obvious to me that this project is not going to be finished by the end of the year. But there's nothing we can do about that. We did have to agree to replace some roof decking that originally we were not going to replace. And right now they're waiting on the steel to arrive, and there's about a 8-week lead time on delivery. So the general contractor is frustrated with it, understandably, but things are just what they are. But if you haven't been over there and seen what's been done so far, you ought to go over and take a look at it. Councilman Wolf was over there with me, or what was that, Jim, a week ago or so?
Over a week ago.
And where we started out with a one big empty building, it's not that way anymore. It's very claustrophobic. The place is filled up. So, can I give you a completion date? No, can't do that. Yeah.
Okay.
It's moving along.
It's moving along. Okay, Dale. Thank you.
Okay.
You're at the second page. Now we're talking commissioners transferring county general fund 1,000 commissioners from account 10 230 health insurance to account 3050 insurance deductible 24,912.
Motion to approve.
Have a second?
Second.
Okay, motion second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So
Aye.
You take the next two, combine them, can't we, Jane?
transferring county general fund 1,000 Superior Court from account 30490 pauper attorney contracts to account 10218 employee bonus $4,000.
Want to take the next one too, Bob?
Do what?
The next one, combine it?
Do Superior and Circuit at the same time.
Okay. County general fund sheriff's account.
No.
Oh, pauper attorney, okay, 4,000. Okay, combine the two of them, transfer of pauper attorney for $3,000, so that's a total of $7,000, right? Okay.
Get motion to approve the $4,000 for Superior Court and the $3,000 for the Circuit Court.
Okay, do I have a second?
A second.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Aye.
Transfer county general fund 1,000 sheriff from account 10360 overtime to account 2210 gas and oil, $5,000.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Okay, have a motion second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Okay. This is going too easy.
Take the next two, combine them two.
And the next two are transfer and pretrial diversion fund, $49.80, $800, and pretrial diversion fund, $49.80 from account for $10.
Motion to approve the
Both of them
transfer
together.
request for Fund 4980 to 314 or 2014 30014 for $800 and 4980 to 30500 for $10.
Okay. Do I have a second to that?
Second.
Okay. Have a motion second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
That was an aye, Jane.
Okay.
Okay, now, the Lit Correctional Rehabilitation Fund, 1233 from account 3051 attorney fees to account 20210 gas and oil, $500. That's-
Motion to approve.
Okay. Second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Transfer income cap development fund 1138 from account 30501 remodeling cost to account 10218 employee bonuses $1,500.
Motion to approve.
Okay, motion made. Second.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 And transfer in highway fund 1176 from account 40401 office equipment to account 10218 employee bonuses $2,000.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. 144 corrections, Steve Bills.
Good evening. I'm here to present our 144, which would be effective January 1 of 2024. Our advisory board sets a salary schedule for 2 years at a time. This schedule was set early 2023 to take effect January 1 of 24, and that will run through all of 2025 to January 1 of 26. And if you have the packet there, it shows the salary schedule set by our advisory board, the current one, and then the previous one is behind that. And then the 144s, which affects all staff, part-time to the full-time.
Great. That's great.
And again, those are, all salary increases are sustained and paid for out of our project income fund. We are probably busier, not probably, we are busier right now than we've ever been at our facility. Our work lease mail facility right now is housing about 46, I think we're at. Capacity is 56. And then when we're able to house 15 to 20 females, I look for that to be full pretty quickly as well. If not all local inmates, we're going to get requests, I'm sure, from Wayne County, Franklin County, Rush County, probably all the surrounding counties. We have for years, we never had the female work lease to offer, and there's not another female facility. There may still be one in Madison County, up in Anderson. That would be the closest one to us, I believe.
Now, when they do that, they pay us to keep them, right?
DOC does not, the individuals, the participants in the program pay their own way.
But even from Allen County?
Yes, the participants will pay. And we will prioritize that. Obviously, our local courts will get priority. If we have the courts here keeping it full, we just won't be able to accept out of county. Unless the other counties are willing to put somebody on a wait list, but I always would want to have room for our folks here in Fayette County first.
Hey, Steve,
Yes.
how much revenue do you anticipate that will make if you had everybody or had it at capacity?
15, I'm hoping for 15 average for the first year as it shakes out for the year. 15 would generate right around $120,000 in fees without any type of other stuff they would pay for, commissary or laundry or anything like that. They're responsible for paying for their own laundry. I've talked to Zach. The meals, the jail will not be furnishing the meals to those ladies on the work release side. It'll be just like the male facility as far as that goes.
Do most of your people stay paid up, or you have people in arrears, or?
We occasionally do, but Fayette County, historically, we've had a great collection rate. Yeah, I talked to them, I just had training 3 weeks ago now. I was in Indianapolis all week and met with a lot of people from every county. And Marion County used to be tickled to death if they had 20% pay rate. I used to cringe when I heard that because we've always been in the high 80s to low 90% pay. And the state is requiring us to do a lot of incentive programs now. And those incentives sure do encourage the individuals to pay their fees if they want any type of reward. And we've just did a very minor incentive program compared to what the rest of the state's doing, and we've seen results from that already.
Are they ever put back for not paying their fees? I mean, put back into the jail population?
They have been in the past. Normally, if it gets to that point, they find a way. But there have been some, if it's a medical situation or something that comes up, I find a hard time going and asking the court to.
Sure.
We have taken cases before that were just.
Most of them pay pretty good. Most of them pay pretty good.
Yes, we're in probably low to mid 90% pay rate.
Good. That's good.
Hey Steve, you said a revenue 120, right?
That's an approximate number, Kay, but yeah, I would say about 120 for 15.
Is that clear or including costs of that?
No, that's not counting what we pay staff. That's not counting. They're still going to get case management services. They're going to get all the same service that all the men get in our facility, and anybody that's on home detention, they'll get all the services. That's just what we will take in from them. And I don't expect the female operation to be a big money maker, but I look at it as almost, it sounds silly, but almost like a community outreach at this point. It's been needed for a long time, and it's for several different reasons it was needed, but it's not going to be a money maker for us. We are going to, I talked to commissioners today and got permission to talk to the County Attorney, Mr. Wessling, to develop a memorandum of understanding, an MOU. I met with Jim Wolf from your council and with Tracy Beaver from the commissioners about 4 weeks ago before I went to my training, and because I knew I would see a lot of state folks there, and got a lot of answers from them while I was there during the week. Within hours of asking them, and they would give me what I needed to do, mainly to get that $500,000 moved to the county fund, the county, for that facility that we pledged. So I think I'm confident that we'll get that taken care of in short order.
Are you going to be the director of both of them then? Or are you going to have somebody else in there to help you?
I obviously have staff that do a lot of work, but as far as the ultimate responsibility and it all falls on me, but Zach will be, the sheriff will be our staff immediate supervisor.
Okay.
So any staff that we end up providing based on whatever we end up being able to work out, Zach will hire those individuals and will be their supervisor. We will just be furnishing some pay. And that's where most of that money we're gonna get, all that money we're gonna get from the females will go towards, I'm sure it's all gonna get ate up in salary. And we'll evaluate that, I'm hoping each year, and maybe at some point we can increase what we're doing, and I certainly hope it doesn't go the other way, but I see it, if anything, being able to increase a little bit.
Okay. Any more questions?
Of course, I know I spoke a lot on that. I actually was here for the one food, and you'd be ready to go whenever the building is ready.
Need a motion?
And those salaries, I basically, anybody that was, a lot of staff was, some of them were pretty well below that low end. And I know I'm just getting started and getting my feet wet over there, but there's a chunk of money there that we've got to put out there to cover that approved salary schedule. It's very doable, but it's just, I know I'm coming here and asking for a lot right off the bat here, but it's just.
But it's money you've got put aside.
Pardon me?
It's got money you've put aside for it.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
and the money regenerates. We had the best month of collections we've ever had. Debbie brought to me this morning it would be our November collections, and it was the largest collection month we've ever had.
Do you have a motion to accept the report?
Make a motion.
Okay, have a second?
Second.
Any questions? Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Aye.
Okay, Steve.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, no old business, new business, proposed stipend in lieu of health insurance ordinance.
This was reworded from the last meeting. There was some suggested changes. Everybody should have gotten a copy of that in their email, the revised version.
Okay. So, everybody has to sign it?
Well, it needs to be approved.
Has to be approved.
Motion to approve the revised proposed stipend in lieu of health insurance.
Can I see it? I failed to print it off. Okay.
This is on the agenda, but this needs revision. It's a 2024 salary ordinance.
Need to vote on this?
You got the salary orders too, Jane?
No.
Yes, we do.
Jane,
I'm sorry?
you got the salary ordinance?
Yes, that's what I was just telling Bob. It's not on the agenda, but it is prepared, and I had sent it out in an email prior to the meeting also.
Jane, how do they get this stipend? Do they present a bill or?
Yes. Well, right now, the way it's been done in the past, they just presented a claim, but there was no documentation that showed that they were purchasing the policy referred to or that they had out-of-pocket medical expenses. So it's the wording, the change is that they have to provide documentation. So we're not just paying them with
Okay,
no
what-
proof.
Okay, if they don't, how do I want to say this? Let's say if they got a prescription that goes over, that they have to pay part of that prescription out of their pocket, do they bring that to you, or that's?
They could, yes. The way that is worded, if
They
it's
can
a
bring it
qualified
based
out-of-pocket medical expense.
Up to a certain amount?
$168 a day.
Yeah.
When does this have to be okay? This meeting?
Unless you want to have a special meeting,
We have a special meeting.
or you could do it at your January meeting. I mean, like, the existing ordinance expires at the end of this year.
What's the,
But if you did it in your January meeting, whoever's taking the stipend could still get January's payment, so it can wait.
Okay.
You
I
can
like-
table it if
I
that's,
like getting this just a little bit more. My motion would be January meeting. Come on, second.
it was already motion on the floor.
okay. I could say there's a motion on the floor, so if the motion on the floor dies for lack of a second, then you can make
Okay.
a motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, got a motion first, second.
Kate just seconded it.
Right. Hold on. So then you need to take a vote.
Okay.
You wanna do a roll
Motion
call?
made and
You need
seconded.
a roll call vote? Sure.
Fine.
Okay, we're gonna do a roll call vote. Winta,
Yes.
Is
Cransfield?
this to table it until January?
No,
No, this is to
this is
either
to
do
This is
approve.
to do it tonight compared to put it off a month.
No.
Okay, Patterson,
No.
Wolf,
No,
Abington,
I agree with it, yes.
yes? Okay. Stewart?
No.
No. Okay. So, 4 no's, 3 yeses.
Did you get?
Did I get Kate's
Yeah,
vote?
do you want to make your motion
Hang on.
to look
Hang on,
at
I'm
it
sorry.
again in January?
She seconded, I guess I should
Dan, I'm
choose.
confused. Are we voting to table it or what?
You were voting to pass, Mike's motion that was on the floor was to approve the ordinance. So when you,
Oh.
when
And
you
you
seconded
seconded
it,
it.
yeah.
Did anybody read the ordinance before they
Oh,
come
wait
tonight?
a minute, wait a minute. I thought Jim made a motion.
Okay,
It was after Mike's.
I was seconding
okay.
Jim's.
Were you,
Jim didn't make a motion yet. He couldn't do it because Mike had it on the floor first.
Well, I didn't, no,
Well, are
I
you-
was,
are you
I thought I
voting-
was making a motion for Jim.
okay, would you be voting no, Kay?
I'm sorry, what?
And the roll call, would you be voting no?
Can you tell me the motion again?
The motion was to approve the ordinance.
I say no.
Okay, so it fails.
Okay, now, do you want to make a motion to look at it in January?
yes, I'm gonna make a motion, look at January.
Okay.
I'm sorry
Jim's
about this.
motion.
Do I have a second on that?
I'll second that.
Okay.
I seconded
Motion
it.
second.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Okay. And motion for- All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, we'll bring it up in January. Now here ordinance 22306, it's the salaries for the employees, right?
Yes, and that was done based on the assumption that you were approving the ones that were requested tonight. So that does include the raises for community corrections, raises for 911, the increase for
Did we do
the
911 yet?
We
nurses.
haven't done that one yet. There was never a motion made on the one.
Okay, well, that's assuming you're going to do that.
Okay.
So when you get to the salary ordinance,
Okay.
Do you want to present the 911 tonight to be accepted or not?
Yes.
Okay.
Hang on a minute. The interlocal agreement between the city and the county
Mm-hmm.
regarding 911,
Yes.
going to the 132,000. Is there anything in that agreement that stipulates that extra $12,000 goes to salaries?
I was under the understanding that with the new
I mean, maybe that's what they
contract,
wanted, but
with
is
the-
it in the agreement?
With
When they
the-
said they give the 12,000, they stipulated in the 12,000 that goes to salaries.
Well, they can't
but to answer
stipulate
your
that.
question, Scott, no, it is not in writing. It is not part of the agreement.
Okay.
What's the cost of the county on this?
There's no match.
Well, there would have been no cost to the
anything.
county, it would have been their,
No.
the thing is that they can't stipulate what we do with the money, just like we can't stipulate what they do with the money. I know their intention, but my bigger concern is there anything, language that holds them to that money each year? Because if we give them a raise and they say next year they're not gonna do that, then we're less holding the bag.
I don't want anything that obligates us to what the cities come up with. I mean, that's their problem, not ours.
Unless they redo the contract.
That's why
I think the contract was for 132 moving forward, but I'd have to look at it. Yeah, it's,
132 every year, not just a one-year thing.
And the city's gonna pay that.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, as long as there's language that holds them to that, that's fine, because, like Bob, I don't want to be holding the bag or else
No,
suddenly we're responsible for this $12,000, which isn't much.
no, they're not wagging this tail, okay?
So, and then the existing contract, the wording says, the contract shall extend and continue for a period of 2 years from the date of execution and shall thereafter be automatically continued on a year-to-year basis unless either party wants to cancel it.
But
So-
we're not one of the parties.
If they
Yeah, we
cancel it 2 years from
between
now,
us and
then
the
all
city.
bets are off.
they
Well, then
cancel
you
2 years
then
from
you
now.
have
All
to-
bets are off on a lot of ways.
Right.
Why would we cancel, it if it's not costing us anything?
No, the interlocal agreement covers not just that, the interlocal agreement covers more than just that $12,000.
Right.
It's saying what they'll pay for 911 and EMS, there's different interlocal agreements, there's probably 3 of them, I think. 3 or 4 of them. So, as long as we're protected,
Well, you're never going to be protected forever, but you're protected for 2 years.
right, and then should that happen, then we would have to make a decision whether we have to.
I guess I thought that's why you guys were doing it as a stipend rather than a.
For 911?
Isn't that what that is? Isn't that the stipend?
No.
No,
There's stipend.
It's just those are
Yeah, they're
complete
just gonna be
raises.
those are complete raises.
Yeah.
The message I got from City Hall was that they wanted them to be applied towards raises.
Well,
But these aren't bonuses or anything like that. These are
Yeah,
actually raises.
this is a raise.
what the mayor and them do with their money's fine, as long as
Well,
So,
I mean,
we're covered for 2 years, no matter what, that's where we face as a 2-year agreement. And that one goes to 2005, I think was the last one,
Right.
so I don't anticipate it changing. For at least 4 years.
we're basically giving approval for the city to give 911 $132,000 a year for the next 2 years.
And I don't want to get too far in the weeds, but this wasn't like, I mean, they offered this. I mean, so I don't expect them to like offer it and then next year be like, oh, we're going to take that back.
Right.
They offered it without request.
But to whatever extent we can, I want to cover our butts.
Sure.
And that's about as much as we can do is a 2-year agreement, and then it's up for discussion annually. And it's supposed to be like June, July time period to review that?
Well, I hate to sound stupid, but why do I care what the city does with their money?
Well, they're giving it to us.
They're giving it to
Jane.
us?
Jane, with them earmarking that money is for raises specifically,
911.
right, we have to.
So
we
it
have to
comes
do
through
that.
the council here to give to them.
Well, not
we
necessarily.
run the 911, and the city provides us, have for several years now, $120,000. The city wants to give us 132 this year, but they'd
Okay.
like that extra 12 to go to raises. Now, they have made that an informal request, they have not put it in writing. The question becomes, do we want to honor that request? And, that also opens a Pandora's box. They really haven't told us how to spend that $120,000 before. Are we going to have to get into the weeds about how they spend their EMS money and how that we provide, and what other responsibilities are they going to give us about their money down the road?
Animal shelter.
I mean, I want to give the 911 folks something too.
Right.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's just, this opens up, this is a little bit more complicated.
And I'm not saying that we don't give that raise either, I'm just saying, I just wanna protect our, as a county, I just wanna protect us. To the best we
Yes.
can.
Did they say in an email to give the 12,000 to the 911 for raises?
No,
Did you say yes?
no.
Okay. How will we notify them?
In person?
Jeff, you said that this isn't set in stone yet, or what? You was talking about how this is a proposal, that they're not finished with it yet?
Like I have emails where, like, Rosemary calculated the raises and stuff, so does that count to answer Kate's
I would say
question?
probably would answer Kate's question, yeah.
Okay.
I guess my question is this something we should postpone to January if you had a chance to clear it with the city, what their intentions are?
Well, I think their intentions are clear.
Yeah.
They said if you want to give $12 more thousand than you have been
I don't
given,
think we need to put up
we would like that $12,000 to go to salary.
Yeah,
Okay, so-
I think
Now,
their intentions are pretty clear.
But I think the concerns,
That's right.
really doesn't sound like a lot of the concerns are doing that. It's
No.
just the concerns of what
Right.
does it mean moving forward when you're responsible for those salaries that are not going away, right? One.
No.
And then
that's
two,
right.
does it open up any other kind of, hey, are we gonna have to do this with every move we make now? Is it gonna be a constant controlling of how the monies are being spent?
It's a
Okay. I wanna-
CYA issue.
Right. I get all of that, and
I don't think they need to put up until January. Did they sign the new interlocal agreement?
$12,000
Yes.
stipend.
Then that's done.
Like you're saying, I just want to clarify, I do have emails discussing the raise, but the original conversation was not done in an email, it was done in person. But now since then, like Rosemary, the city clerk treasurer, and I have exchanged emails regarding the breakdown of the raises and the calculation of the, you have this much money, you gotta figure in FICA and PERF for the full-time and, all of that, so I don't want to seem like we did have some emails.
Do we need a second on Sharon's motion?
Did Sharon make a motion?
But you said,
Yeah, I'll go ahead and make it, let's just do it.
I'm sorry,
okay,
so what's the motion?
You seconded, Scott?
Yeah, I seconded Sharon's
To
motion
accept the
on,
city's-
to accept
To accept.
the salary and wage committee's
Okay.
proposal regarding 911 raises.
Okay. Got a motion made and seconded. Any more
Yes, I
questions?
second it, yes.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Aye.
opposed? Okay. Passed.
Now you can vote on your salary ordinance.
And now we can vote on the salary ordinance, okay? You guys want to take a look at it first before you sign it?
Everybody should have received that in the
Exactly.
email.
All this stuff is sent on email, we gotta make sure we read this stuff before we come.
In the email, I explained the only changes to that in the existing ordinance was the raises that were discussed tonight. I went on the assumption that those raises were going to be approved. So, the changes are to community corrections, health department nurses, a stipend line for the health department administrator, and the 911. And the probation officer raises that are mandated by the state.
Okay.
Okay.
See any problems there?
Nope.
Okay. Get a motion, keep going. We're the closest thing we got to an attorney, Scott. You want to make the motion? Well, I got
Not
my...
even close.
I forgot you sitting over there, Jim. I mean, on the
Poor
council.
Jeff. Poor
Motion
Jeff.
to accept the.
You can't make a motion anyway.
Very good.
Mike made a motion to
Okay.
accept it.
Okay. You second it?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Anything else to bring before the council? Then I move for adjournment.
Well, hang on.
Pardon?
Wait a minute, we got other people.
Oh. Okay.
We want to talk about the Glenwood project.
There you go.
Hello, Thomas Barclay, Commonwealth Engineers. Sean Kleinfield with Kleinfield Financial. We're here on behalf of the town of Glenwood with Jenny Richardson, Town Council President. We had a meeting last Friday to discuss. We had approached the commissioners with the Glenwood Water Project, where the town of Glenwood is looking to receive water flow, purchase bulk rate from the city of Connersville. They have hired Commonwealth engineers to write them a preliminary engineering report that shows that as the primary project. We have submitted that application on behalf of the town to the state revolving fund. It has been ranked and scored, and it was placed on their project priority list, meaning that of the 80 or so water projects that were submitted to the state last year, it was one of 16 that the state said that they would guarantee that there would be some kind of grant money available to them. Under that, the state has asked Commonwealth and the town to proceed with design. And from our end, the total project cost, as is presented in the PER, is about $14 million. So from an engineering design stance, we're about 10% of that for the design. So 1.4 million is what we are looking for to get to that next process that would allow the state. It's a long story. I want to keep it a little bit short. So we approached the commissioners last month. We've had various conversations with them as well, and laid it out before them, and I believe they sent over their stamp of approval. That might be the best way to say it. So we had a meeting on Friday with the state, both county entities, the town of Glenwood, legal counsel, and discussed this issue at length with the head of the state revolving fund on the line. And where it all kind of landed was a little bit rich for the county to take on by itself, and we completely understand that. But Councilman Bevington recommended that what if we look at 5, it's 1.4 million, for round numbers, let's call it 1.5. So let's look and see if we can find 5 partners between Fayette County and Rush County who could all chip in $300,000 to help mitigate the blow and the risk to everybody. And Councilman recommended the county, the city of Connersville, economic development, or the RDC here, same in Rush County, and then the Rush County commissioners. Because the line would benefit Fayette County completely. But the vast majority of the people would live in Rush County. Only about 10% of the population in Glenwood lives in Fayette County. So we said we'd be very happy to take that consideration to everybody, and the county will be setting up that next meeting for everybody to talk about it. We've already talked about it with Rush County, with Mayor Pavey, with I forget the councilman's name. Jeff, do you remember the councilman's name that was on Rush County's side? He was sitting right.
Did not speak?
No, he didn't really speak.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I didn't see a Rush County councilman.
Yeah, he was sitting right next to Mayor, so I don't remember. But I know there's somebody from the county, John McCain, Dan Parker here, as well as commissioners, Connersville, and Glenwood. Because at some point, Rushville is in need of water as well. And once this project popped up on their radar, they've approached us, they've approached the town about if we can get the line to Glenwood, they'd be very interested in paying to upsize the line so that they can have future connection if they had the need. That's kind of where we stand right now. I'll let Sean talk a little bit about the financial side, and then I'll kind of close with maybe some obtainable goals for everybody moving forward.
Yeah, so just to give you some perspective, so when we submitted our application to the state revolving fund, our post-project user fees were like $830. That was a monthly bill for residents of Glenwood. And even in that, that project met the SRS project priority list. knowing that that wouldn't be viable for residents. And so Bill Harkins, who that's the particular individual, he was on our last call we had, and he said, yes, we're here to support Glenwood. He characterized it as a low-risk project. He said, unfortunately, this is the process that unfolds. You need to get your PER done first. You need your local sourcing of funds. Now, those funds, whether we get it from 3 to 5 or whomever sources, those funds will be paid back at the loan closing as part of the closing of the loan, the long-term bond issuances. So, the need would be short-term financing to get the PER going. So that's kind of some of the financing. Does anybody have any questions about any of the financing?
Can I step in here real quick?
Sure.
Just so everybody's aware here, at that meeting there was Commissioner Strong, Commissioner Munson, Councilwoman Payton was on the call too, and from our discussion between the four of us, it just kind of seemed like what they're looking for here is a temporary, no more than really 18 months approximately.
Yeah, I mean that's a reasonable time frame. I always like to put a little bit more on there just in case we run into hiccups or delays or anything like that.
Right.
But yeah.
But basically about an 18-month no interest loan, and they were looking in the neck of the woods of $1.4, $1.5 million that would cover a lot of the design work. Okay, and what we said between the four of us was, sounds kind of rich for us, right? And we'd like to get the other players involved. I mean, Connersville Utilities, the RDC, the Rush County folks, because there's a lot there. It's great. It would be great for the citizens of Glenwood. It'd be great for Connersville Utilities. I think there's an economic development benefit potential there because the amount of available green space we have is limited, right? And that area in western Fayette County potentially could be something that could be potential projects given, if you run water through there, you've got a great rail line through CSX for rail spurs. We've got a wonderful short line railroad, but the short line railroad adds cost to different projects and can sometimes hurt us in projects just because of the extra cost. So there's a lot of potential there. I think it could be a good project that we ought to at least consider, but I don't know that we're going to be in a position to handle, and I think that was kind of all of our thoughts. Am I wrong, guys? Okay?
You're right on the spot.
Okay. That seemed a little rich for our blood because not only, we've got enough in reserves for that kind of thing, but based on our budget that was passed this year, what we expect to bring in, that kind of thing, it's going to be tough for us to eat into that. That could really give us a cash flow problem, not to mention there would be a cost to us because those reserves, we're getting interest on those reserves, probably averaging somewhere around 4%. At least that's what I heard from our county treasurer when I talked to her about it. So so what we said was, and I think the commissioners were kind enough to take the lead on it, that they'd reach out to a number of people and try to get all the players together in the same room, hopefully by the end of the year, so that we can press forward for these folks. Because they really need to be rolling by March.
Yeah. Realistically, we need to be rolling as soon as possible.
Right, but
because
that's the drop
we're already
dead.
a year. We were going to resubmit anyways to the SRF because we're going to be adding. The town's going through the lead service line inventory right now on the water side. Once they start getting information back from that, we'll use that to update their preliminary engineering report that we'll resubmit at the end of March. Right now they had 0 on that, and that was a huge indicator for the state on how your your application score. And we had a 0 on there because we hadn't done that yet. So they're doing that this year, so that will be incorporated into next year. So, you know, it's already a project that they're committed to, so I only see that increasing our score for next year. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that, you know, our commitment that we have to the town is that, you know, we start moving on this. So we'd like to at least over the winter get some of the winter things done that we can get done.
Yeah.
That doesn't require, you know, drilling into the ground necessarily. You know, surveying, a lot of the easement lookup stuff that, you know, trying to figure out who you know, where we'd have to potentially acquire land, you know, stuff like that that comes with such a, you know, a large project running through the county.
Well, you know, all 4 of us that were on that in that meeting, I think understand the benefit that could offer the folks out in Linwood, and the benefit to all of us really,
Yeah,
in Fayette and Rush County.
And just so you know, that the town of, or the unincorporated town of Orange has also been identified.
Good.
That if we get water to Glenwood, that one of the next steps after that would be, you know, coming up with documents that support getting water down to Orange.
That would be great. I mean, I think the 4 of us were pretty committed to trying to get that put together by the end of the year. So, commissioners, have you had any luck getting that going yet?
It is not on the calendar yet, Scott.
Okay.
Getting all the principals involved in this together in the same room at the same time is difficult, you know. But that aside, I would emphasize to you folks that this project, Glenwood, offers a significant step toward an eventual countywide municipal water system that I've always supported. And aside from the benefits in the State Road 44 corridor, we have a good product to sell here in Connersville, our water, and it should benefit our people first.
I live 2 miles north of town and can't get it.
Well,
You're gonna go 15 miles that way.
well, we haven't got to you yet.
No, you haven't.
But I think this project is certainly worth pursuing. I, like you, wouldn't want to take the entire risk on our own in relation to the $1.3 or $4 million. But I think this is doable, and it's certainly worthwhile. And with the, you know, with the people that Thomas deals with, they're very close. They're so close to just giving a total green light to this. I think it would be wrong for us to back away from it. So, you know, do you want to, you know, whether or not to risk $300,000 or $400,000 of the funds that you control is up to you. But I think eventually it's worth the risk.
Tonight they just wanted to kind of inform you where we're at and what we're talking about, and so that you don't get surprised down the line if we do come up with something that makes sense for everybody.
And I would ask or urge too that when we can get this roundtable meeting set up with all the entities that need to be there, I would certainly expect all of you to participate in that, because we need everyone involved in this.
That's what I was going to ask is, like, with the 4 of you being present at the other meeting, I mean, is there a committee or is just everyone going to be involved in it?
Well, certainly.
I think the invite went out to everybody.
Did it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Certainly all 7 of you council members need to be involved in it, because our involvement is going to be your decision, as well as officials from
Connersville City in relation to the Connersville Utilities, our own EDG board, Rush County authorities. There's an awful lot of people have responsibility in this, so I would really urge your participation.
I live in that area. I'm on South Gray Road. I'm on Rush County RMC even. So I would be interested for sure.
Yeah, from us as a company representing the town, we want to be as open and transparent as, a project this size, we would err on the side of more meetings than less meetings. Because we just want everybody to have buy-in, we want everybody to have an understanding of the project and the potential for it. I know one of the things that I've talked to Brad Coulter about quite a bit is, say the project moves forward. We get funding from all the concerned parties, and we move forward with design. And we also, as a company, we're also the city of Connersville's water engineer. So we move forward with design. What happens once total completion is there? We have a line in the ground. Glenwood doesn't have the capacity from a manpower stance, to maintain and maintain, or to operate and maintain 7 miles of pipe coming out of Connersville. So what does that look like after it's all over? And we've talked with the commissioners about that as well. And they've made the comment that while they're open to a water district, they're not necessarily open to hiring people to maintenance everything. So I know that Brad, and I'm actually going to go see Brad after this meeting's over and kind of update him from our stance on it. And I know that Brad has mentioned that that's something that while they may not be interested in owning the line, they've got the manpower to certainly maintenance everything and take care of any issues. And it's just, mostly it's a line in the ground. You're going to have a couple booster stations to make sure that water keeps the pressure to make it to wherever it's going. And realistically, most of that stuff you shouldn't have to worry about for the first 10 years anyways, because it all should be brand new. And
how in the world you go to Franklin County, you'd be amazed where city water's at in Franklin County.
Yeah.
I was doing an appraisal down in Oldenburg, and the water came out a mile in, for Pete's sake.
Okay.
So someone's getting it done somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure about Franklin County's about their water district, but that's not uncommon.
You find it in places miles away from where the.
Just go south of here to Everton. I talked to the folks down in Everton last couple of weeks, and I was shocked that they have 820 water users out in the county.
Well, here's the thing. You're working with Connersville Utilities. Aren't there any grants out there for?
That's what we're going after. This is where all the money is right now, with the starting with the American Rescue Plan and all the ARPA dollars you got first. Then after that came the bill funds, the bipartisan infrastructure law funds. Everything has a regionalization component to it, and that's why this project scored so high.
If this is an SRF loan that is only a loan, and the town of Glenwood has to pay it back, it will never happen.
No.
That's the whole point of this. Is it the idea, and that's what Mr. Klein-Peter brought up, is that if this is just a loan, the town of Glenwood, you'd be happy to know, his water rates will be around $880 a month.
This is actually on the well, so it's zero still.
So you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
SRF is never going to put the town of Glenwood into a position where their users are going to pay $800 on the rates.
The whole project is $14 million.
Right.
All we're talking about is really a short-term loan for the design costs, which is $1.4 million.
But ultimately, to answer your question, this will be, we believe strongly, it will be a loan with really, you probably pay for a year and then it's forgiven.
Yeah, a lot of forgiven. Money on tax.
We're hoping like 80-90% forgiven type thing.
That would be ideal. That would be ideal, but
we've seen offers like that before.
Right. I'm terrified of that component
Yes.
for Glenwood with it. But having said that, I have to, especially after hearing Friday, I have to believe they know that they're going to give a very
The
significant.
thing that we can't say as consultants that Bill can say from the state is, and he did say it in a roundabout way, is the state's not going to burden a community over more than what they have their own internal metrics that they don't like to see water rates over. And while it might be higher than some people like paying, it's a lot lower. It's a tenth of $800 a month. But it's it's still there's still a bill attached to it. It's not free. But the state wants to see buy-in from their end, but they have their thresholds that they don't like to see bills go over. Especially Sean and his team did an income survey in the town, so the state has up-to-date numbers on what the median household income is. They have their own internal calculations that they like to see. Let's just say for the sake of conversation, I know they don't like to see rates over $85. It might be a little bit lower than that with the household income, but $85 is a good number. They don't like to see water or wastewater rates over $85. Which, if you're already paying $68 for brown water that nobody drinks, nobody wants a rate increase ever, but it might be a good trade-off for, 20 extra bucks a month. You have clean, potable water that you don't have to boil and, or, you just don't simply use it.
Yeah, NSRF calls that buying down the rates. They'll buy them down to a reasonable number. And the other comment, Bill Harkins, while he can't guarantee us anything, even though he's the approving authority, the one comment he made that stuck was, this is a very low-risk project. And when he said that was as far as he could really go.
Yeah.
Because once again, he can't overcommit on his end
No.
either. So that's where we stand. I think that from our end, we appreciate the time. We'd love the opportunity to come back and talk about moving forward on the whatever that number may be. If it's 300,000 from 5 different entities, or if it's a different number, we'd love to come back and be able to get at least the ball rolling down the road for Glenwood, start getting some people out in the field, and getting some work done.
Okay. You'll be back, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Oh, I mean, realistically, if the commissioners are hoping that we have another meeting before the end of the year, it gives us about a week and a half to really find time, because after that third week of, I'm assuming most people take off the week of Christmas, and then you roll into New Year. So we might be able to have
Has Connersville Utilities gave you any idea how much they could contribute to it?
No, but I'll see the mayor tomorrow, and I'll see Brad tonight. So.
Okay. Well, don't get drunk, okay? But
I got to get home to my kids. I've got that as an excuse I've got that as an excuse to get out of there. No, but it's the same thing they've said the whole time. They're very committed to this project. It's a project they want to see done. It's not their top priority. They're as their consultants as well. They've made it very clear to us that while they want this project to be done, and they'll do whatever they can. They've got some work at their own distribution system and at their water plant that they also need to focus on.
But Brad would know what's available out there to be able to get funding too.
Yeah.
Have some idea on that.
For sure.
He's been around long enough to know.
He certainly has. And as a company, we're very successful in getting our clients all the grant dollars that we possibly can, so we're going to continue to flip over every stone to make sure that we get this project over the finish line for Glenwood. And what comes after that is I think that
Hopefully done grazing, but we'll worry about that.
Yeah. Any questions we can answer?
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Appreciate your consideration.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Hey, Dane,
Yes.
can you send an email out to the employees that are getting their bonuses and let them know in case they want to change their tax deduction for 1 week. Because some of them, said last year, they would have known because they would have changed their tax deduction for 1 week.
Not sure how to answer that. I probably will not do that, okay? Because that would be a whole lot of extra work in an amount of time that we don't have
Yeah, it would.
to go in and change everybody's deductions.
Okay. Any other business for tonight?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second? So favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Stick around for the party.
Chad, did you have anything? I'm sorry, who seconded that?
No, I just
Who seconded?